Someone is asking, you keep saying you need to love yourself. Okay, I am ready. Where do I start from? Okay, I'm going to see how much of this I can remember to mention it today. The first thing that will help when you are ready to start loving yourself is to understand that in the entire universe, with trillions of civilizations, there is no one else like you. Absolutely no one. There never has been and there never will be. And once you understand this, really understand it, then you try and make the most of it, meaning of your existence, of your life. You try and experience things consciously, even if it's simply walking to the bus stop. You do it consciously. You're asking yourself, how do I feel walking right now? How do I feel waiting for the bus right now? And that way you start experiencing things consciously rather than doing them like a zombie. And this is one way, I'm sure there's more ways, but this is one way to begin the process of loving yourself. Slowly bringing more consciousness in. And my way of doing it was to keep asking myself how I feel about every little thing I'm doing. I got the idea from someone else. I didn't come up with it. And it really worked for me. Little by little, I noticed that I felt lighter, even in the most simple things I would do, like washing my coffee cup, or walking down the street, or even going to the supermarket. I started feeling lighter because I started asking myself, how do I feel doing this? So that's one way to start. And I think I'll try and think of a few things that we do not do when we love ourselves. One of the first things we need to stop saying is the phrase, that's what people do. Many times I'll ask a client, why are you in a rush to find a permanent job? And they will answer with, that's what people do. Well, that makes no sense whatsoever. If you did love yourself, you would not do something simply because most people do that. So stop saying that's what people do, or stop doing what other people do, and ask yourself, is this what I want to do? I think I've mentioned this before, but a long time ago an author wrote, imagine you were the only person on earth. Just imagine this for a moment. No one else exists but you. And then the author continued with, in order to be happy, this is the person you must become. So, I think this goes for in order to love yourself as well. You need to become this person. You need to constantly pretend you are the only person on earth. So what everyone else does or says doesn't matter. In reality, you are the only person on your earth because you have come to earth just for you, no one else. What else? Many times I would ask a client, why did you get married? That's what people do. Why did you buy a house? These are clients who have problems, right? They come to me with the problems. So first we go to find out why they got into the problems. Because that's the easiest way to solve a problem. Go to the source of it. Why did you buy a house? Because that's what people do. So this phrase, if we can let go of this phrase or this thought, we might release 50% of our problems. Then, another phrase that will help us if we let go of. Many times people will do something if they're in a relationship, but they don't really want to do it. And if I ask, why are you doing this? They will say, well, relationships are give and take. No, a contract, an agreement is give and take. A relationship is you just being yourself, and if the other person wants to stick around, they can. If they don't, they won't. That's a relationship. Otherwise, you're not in a relationship. You're just fooling yourself. You are in an agreement. You are in a contract. And then you wonder why you're not happy. Contracts never make anybody happy. If they did, we would not have to sign them. So stop it with the relationships are give and take, or relationships are meeting in the middle. No, they're not. They're not. Relationships are pure magic. Once the magic is over, move on. If you loved yourself, you would do this. You would move on. Someone who loves themselves never makes an agreement, never signs a contract. Never. It says, listen, today I can do this. Tomorrow, just ask me again tomorrow. You might say, how am I going to function in society? Have a look around you for a minute. Society is sick. More than half of them are on medication. And you want to function in that society? You think that that is something to function in? It isn't. So stop trying to function in something that isn't working, that never has worked. Sometimes we think it did work for our parents, and why is it not working now? Our parents were masters of denial, and this is why it kind of worked for them. But the energy that we are in at the moment, we are having a hard time lying. We're having a difficult time being in denial. And this is why it doesn't work for us. So, how will I function in society isn't going to take you very far, I'm afraid, because society is going down the drain, and they will pull you with it if you don't, I don't want to say if you don't come out of it, but if you don't detach from it. You need to detach. Let them do their thing and you do yours. Now, another thing a lot of people say is, I can't do what I want, everything I want, because other people will get hurt. You're right. Other people will get hurt simply because you are doing what you want and not what they want. Would you like to go through your life like this? Doing what they want? Think about it for a moment. You didn't come here for them. You came here for you. And if they want you to do things, you shouldn't be with them anyway. Even if they are your own children, you should not be around them. Do not stay around anybody that demands you do something so they can be happy. Do not. Leave, or you will get sick and you will die. What else do we not do once we start loving ourselves? Let's see. Then there's the little things. You might say, oh, it's only a day. But you know what happens to your cells when you do something you don't like? They stick together and they can't breathe. Weddings. Almost no one likes going to a wedding. But they think they have to. And they say to themselves, it's only one day. Yes, a wedding's only one day. A job is only another day. Your mother is only another day. Your mother-in-law is another day. They go 5 days of the week. So you're doing something every day that you don't like. And then again, you wonder why you're not happy or why you're not healthy. So you need to stop doing these little things. Helping a friend move house. Do you really want to carry furniture from the house down the stairs and onto a truck? What do you mean it's a friend? Get them to pay someone to do it. It's these little things again. And you say, oh, it's only one day. Yes, but your body will never forget that day, because it did something it did not want to do. This is how you start loving yourself. You never do something you don't want. That's all. It will help to go in front of the mirror, look into your eyes, and say, I love you. That does help. But once you start loving you, you never again do something you do not want. This is one of the biggest reasons we are not healthy. It's not the only reason, but if you will always do only what you want, you will always remain healthy, because your vibration is always high. And a high vibration can never get sick, simply because sickness has a low vibration and it won't find you. Now, you might have less friends, but let me tell you, it's worth it, because you will be healthy and happy. Who cares if you have 4,000 friends when you're in the hospital? Let's see if there's something else. Nothing else is coming to mind right now. But if we can do these things, if we can just focus on, what do I like? Or, I'm going to do this. Do I really like this? Or am I doing it out of obligation, so someone else won't get upset with me? Another thing, you know how I started realizing that I'm starting to like me? Because for the first 40 years of my life, I didn't like me. I realized that I must be starting to like me when people were getting angry at me. Not angry as in shouting at me, but they were giving me the silent treatment. And that's when I realized, I said, oh, I must be starting to like me. And they don't like this. So you will get that. It's worth it. It really is worth it. Because if you have to keep doing things to have friends, those aren't friends. They're really not. So you might say you have friends, but do you? Think about it for a moment. These friends you have, will they still be around if you start doing only the things you like? I'm going to leave it at this.